All right, hello, everybody. I want to do a video every week, maybe. We'll see if that works. I'm going to try. But tertiary lifestyle challenge. So important things, it's all in the email, but I'll go through it here too. Starts January 6th, goes until that following, or 5 weeks, ends on a Sunday. January 6th is a Monday. We will print out your booklets. Your booklets have info page, so everybody will get that. And that's mostly what I'm going to cover today. And then it will have 5 scorecards. I'll talk about these in a minute. And then the last page is just kind of for your information. I know you can't see all this on the camera, but that's fine. It's not, you'll see it when you get your package. That last page is just my reasoning for the points, and I'll cover that at the end, so you can see where I'm coming from. But so I wanted to do, I think the only way a person can fail is if they don't learn from their mistakes. And the last challenge we did, I didn't do very good at that one. 8 weeks was too long, so this one will be 5 weeks long. I think that's much better. And I also wasn't as involved as I should have been, because by the 5th week I was pretty busy and hit a creative block, I think, a little bit. Anyway, 5 weeks now, and to keep me more involved and more active so I can be better for everybody in the challenge, running this thing. I want you to turn in your scorecard every week. And I'll give them back if you want them back. I can give them back. I ordered a mailbox that'll go up somewhere, and you can turn them in. It's locked, so nobody else will see it but me. If there's anything you don't want me to see on your scorecard, don't write it on there. Because I will be looking at them, and then I'm not going to scrutinize them. I'm just going to make sure the points are totaled up right, and then I'm going to take your scores and track them every week, and it'll be on that sign-up sheet that's on the desk, so you'll be able to see kind of where you fall. There's another special thing, but I'm going to cover that at the end. Is that a shitty thing to do? Whatever. So it starts Monday, January 6th. Your scorecard for the previous week is due on Tuesday, so I give you one extra day. The weeks start on Monday and on Sunday, and then you'll have Monday and Tuesday to turn in your scorecards. And I want to do some kind of award ceremony at the end. Maybe on a Friday or Saturday. Maybe we'll just do a special workout or something. Nothing crazy, but like, think Friday Night Lights style thing. So why we're doing this? CrossFit has always been a community. It's not just a gym. You don't just work out at a CrossFit affiliate. It's friends and family. You bleed, sweat, and cry with these people. So in that kind of spirit, this challenge is kind of meant to, we're going to do it together. When I run foundations, I tell people, your goals, why you got in here, it can be anything. Mine are different than yours, and both of us are different from everybody else. For me, whatever your goal is, as long as it's important to you, that's what's important. So there's some flexibility built into this that I like. And the whole point is to be better, whatever that means to you. Some people come in here for better performance, to look better, just to be healthier, to have fun, whatever. But to be a better person, whatever being a better person is to them. And that's what this is about. Just being a better person. Okay? So the markers in that spirit, I wanted to make it that this is also simpler than the last one, which was my other major fail. I was a little too ambitious with what I wanted everybody to track. Oops. So, first, attendance. It's a gym, so let's start there. 1 point per day for every day you come in and record a score on SugarWOD. All of this stuff, you just have to be honest. I'm not going to check everything. So, hold yourself accountable. But every day you come, do a workout, log a workout, you get a point. There's a little note about that though. Points for this max out at 5 per week. If you come 7 days a week, that's fine. But I want you to have some kind of work-rest cycle. I don't want you to beat and I don't think anybody would, somebody might, beat themselves up 7 days a week for 5 weeks just for the extra points. So you can come 7 days a week, but you only get up to 5 points a week, okay? 1 for every time you come. Nutrition is the second marker. One of my favorite things to think and say is nutrition dictates body composition. You are what you eat. Your weight is dictated by how much you eat, and your body composition is dictated by what percentages of basically macronutrients you're eating. Fat, protein, carbohydrates. And all that's based off activity, body weight, gender, age, all that stuff. But because I want some flexibility and I want you to enjoy this, and I want it to be something that is a little more flexible so anybody can do it, you pick the nutrition plan, okay? I want you to run it by a coach. Some of the plans that I know for sure work because either I've done it or I've seen them, seen people succeed. Grandma Jane, for example. The Zone, CrossFit endorsed. I've tried it myself. It works. Macro-based kind of. Flexible dieting or just a macro-based plan, that one works. I've done it myself, and I am going to do that one for the challenge. For those, the Zone is a little less flexible. You're within your blocks. Macros, I would count success that day as being within 10% above or below each macro, okay? Whole 30, yes or no? You just followed it or not. You don't track on Whole 30, but it limits what you can eat. But it works. Beyond that, things like paleo, is that still a thing? They're fine. I want you to track something though. So Whole 30 is just super paleo. Maybe try that. Challenge yourself. If you need help calculating macros, let me know. My Macros Plus is the app that I use and recommend. I can send out a link to that. 1 point per day for nutrition, yes or no? Followed it, did not follow it. No cap on that one. Okay. 7 points a week, 1 point a day. Recovery. need to recover properly if you're doing high intensity physical activity. Sleep is important. The success point a day for this is 7 hours or more. You get a point. Less than 7 hours, no point. 7 is kind of a compromise. I would like 8, but me myself at 7:45, I'm wide awake, and I know other people are like that too. I heard today a couple people are less than 7 and they wake up fresh as a daisy. But I picked 7. I think that's reasonable. Even if you're resting in bed for 7, lights out, I'm good with that. Okay. No cap on those either. 1 point, I want you to sleep every night. Obviously, sleep good every night. Mobility. Helps with recovery, reduce muscle soreness, increases range of motion. 20 minutes a day or more of mobility. I do ROMWOD. There's other mobility apps and programs to follow. If you want to do yoga, that's good. If you want to find stretching video, I have a book. If you want to find stretching videos on YouTube or whatever, that's fine too. 20 minutes a day of stretching, or rolling, mashing. Supple Leopard, that's a good book too. Anything like that. MobilityWOD is his branded, Kelly Starlett, his branded program. Any of those, 20 minutes a day, point for yes, no points for no, 1 point a day, no cap on that. Last one, your individual goal. I'm proud of this one. So this can be anything. I want you to challenge yourself, right? But it can be anything. Should be a challenge, or just something that you want to do that makes you feel like you are bettering yourself as a person. This was one of the markers in the last challenge, and I like it. This is what I'm doing myself. For an example, reading 20 minutes a day, reading a real book, 20 minutes a day, probably before bed, but 20 minutes a day of reading. If you want to learn an instrument, practice an instrument for whatever you feel is a good amount of time to practice that instrument and stick to it. Good examples: give up alcohol for 5 weeks, give up smoking or tobacco for 5 weeks, reduce your screen time. I don't know, whatever you think will make you a better person, that's your individual goal. So I'm proud of this one. You only score a point if the previous 7 days were yes. Okay, so challenge day 1, I read. I get a yes but no point. Day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, no point. Day 8, the Monday of the second week, if it's a yes and I had all yeses, now I start scoring points. If you fall off, I read for 2 weeks straight and I missed, back to 0 for 7 days. The reason I did that, you need to form a habit. And everything else, there's a little flexibility. I'll go through those maybe in this video. I'm already at 14 minutes, so I don't know how long people want me to talk. I'll cover that at the end. I wanted some flexibility with the other stuff. Say you go on a date and you don't track your meal, or it's not within Whole30. Whole30 is a little different. You have to be on with Whole30. Anyway, you're not quite on with whatever nutrition plan you're doing, or you had a sick kid, you didn't get 7 hours of sleep, or you were busy and you didn't stretch, okay? Once is fine for those because I picked them, they're a little more rigid. The one that's your individual goal, you picked it, you think it'll make you a better person, I want you to do it for the entire challenge. So missing on that one, it's not really a penalty, but it's a big hit if you don't do that once, okay? So that's what I want you to think about with that. Pick a goal that is a challenge, but that you can do every day, okay? And want to do every day. I want to read, I just don't make time for it and I need to. That's an aside. Okay. Those are the markers: attendance, nutrition, recovery, mobility, and your individual, whatever you want to do. Scorecard, you can just look it over. That's what it looks like though. One block for each day, yes or no, and if you score a point or not. Why it's yes and no, and if you score a point: if your individual goal, you hit a no and you're not scoring for 7 days, you'll have a yes so you can track what it is and then start scoring points. Or if you come to the gym 6 days a week, you'll get a yes, but you won't score a point for that 6th day, okay? So that's why it's a little more in depth maybe than it has to be. It could just be yes or no, but for you to track your days and your individual goal, the yes, no I thought was better. Total points for the day, total points for the week. I will track your total points for the challenge. I have a note section here. You can write whatever you want in there, as long as you don't care if I see it. And I have, this is optional, I have body weight there. I know you guys can't see this, but when you see the paper, just follow along. I don't care if you track your body weight or not. Personally, I try to weigh myself. I was getting a little obsessed with the scale there for a little bit, so I stopped. I try to weigh myself once a week, Monday morning, right in the morning, when I wake up, after I pee. And that's, I mean, consistent. That's the same day, same time, once a week. That's the best way to see if there's some or that's the best way to have some consistency with weighing yourself. And then you have better numbers to go off of. If you're randomly weighing yourself and trying to track it, maybe you are dehydrated or hydrated. You ate all day versus you fasted over sleeping. You just worked out, whatever. Body weight, it's up to you. For me, Monday, if you want to do, pick a day, pick a time, and always do that, I'm good with that. If you don't want to record that, that's fine, that's up to you. Another thing you can think about, I didn't put it on here because this is way more personal than I want, but for you to keep track of it, if you want to take a picture of yourself every Monday morning, same time after you wake up, that would be a good thing to do too. Especially with a program like this, strength and conditioning, you're going to gain muscle, lose fat, change your body composition. You might weigh more, might weigh the same. And a picture is a good way to compare. Just try to make it the same. Take it in the same spot, same lighting, and then you can kind of compare. That's just a little bonus if you want to do that. So my reasoning for the points, if you had a perfect score, your score would be 158 points. What I'm calling a successful challenge is 135 points, okay? Now that's total over all the areas, but to come to that 135, I kind of figured what was reasonable for most people and what, as a fitness professional, I guess, what I would consider my athletes, if they were following, would be successful if they were doing this 5-week plan, or just in general, a lifestyle. But you don't have to have the attendance on and you miss out on something else and you miss the points. The points are just, I'm just keeping a running total of everything. It's not categorized, okay? So if you get 135 over the 5 weeks in the areas, you're good, okay? But here's how I came up with it. 21 minutes, okay. Attendance. Perfect score would be 5 times a week. What I considered, or what I used in my numbers for success was 4 times a week. So that was 20 over the challenge. Or you can think about that if you miss a week, maybe you go on vacation. But I want more than 3 times a week. 4 times a week is the minimum, kind of, is how you can kind of think about it. 5 is where I want you. I said I want you at 4. I want you at 5. 4 is kind of the minimum. More than that, depending on your work rest cycle, is okay. I don't want you doing 7 days a week. There's something else I was going to say about that. I forgot. Okay, must not have been important. Nutrition. Same with this, except I want 6 days, you following it 6 days a week, or a perfect score is 35, so I considered 30 was success. That gives you some flexibility. You have a date night, you have a birthday party, you can't say Super Bowl, right? The big game is a thing people watch. Once a week, you're doing good. 6 days a week, 1 day a week, you celebrate or whatever. I'd consider that good for my athletes. If they're following a nutrition plan 6 days a week, and as long as they don't go frickin' bonkers on day 7, that's successful in my eyes, okay? 35 is perfect, 30 is what I used, okay? Recovery, same there. 35 is perfect, 30, I kind of said this already, sick kid, late night, whatever, early morning, once a week, we'll still call it successful. Mobility, same thing. 35 is perfect. 30 is what I used. You were busy, whatever. And I already covered this, but your individual goal, 28 would be perfect. That's no points for the first week, but you had all yeses and scored throughout the challenge, 28 points. I want you to have 28 points. I want a perfect score there. That's just what I used for the calculation. I think, so 58, if you missed once, there's a possibility that you would still, depending when you missed, there's a possibility you could still get it, but that would eat up a lot of points, okay? Anyway, I want perfect there. And I have more notes about why I chose that. So if you hit a perfect score total, 158. If you just happen to hit acceptable, or the goal level on those numbers that I gave you, you would have 138. And then I adjusted to 135 because that's easier to remember and gives you 3 extra points to kind of play with. this question might be asked, so I'm going to try to cover it. Say you're perfect on everything except attendance, and your attendance falls below that 20 number that I put as the goal number. That's fine, as long as you hit 135. I'm just going to look at 135 when we determine if you were successful or not. Okay? So you don't have to hit that goal in every area. I want you to, of course, but you don't have to. As long as 135, we're going to call that a success. I'm not really prepared for the. So every time we do a challenge, I get this question asked: What's the prize? What's the reward? And a couple things. The prize is the community helping you stay accountable, you tracking, you having the coaching staff to help you. That's the prize. That's the reward. That's why you're doing it. Not for a shirt or, I don't know, what do people want as a prize? I don't know, a trophy, okay? I'm not doing that. The other reason I don't want to do that, I refuse to charge for this stuff, and the only way that I see it reasonable to present prizes is to charge, and I'm not going to charge you for the community of CrossFit. That's what CrossFit is. I'm not going to charge you for coming to classes that I'm already charging you for, that you pay your monthly membership. That's what you're getting out of that. I'm not going to charge you for nutrition advice unless someday I take on nutrition clients. But for a challenge like this, I'm not going to charge you for nutrition advice. Scott's phone's ringing. So I'm not going to charge you for it. Your prize is being a better person, being healthier, being more capable. But we are going to have kind of a Stanley Cup recognition thing that stays in the gym. I'm not really ready for it, but I'll kind of show you. So I made a very rough draft. A crowbar. Why a crowbar? So CrossFitters, we want to be good at everything, okay? I don't care what your mile time is if you're not strong enough to do a couple pull-ups. That's not a good example. Your mile time, if your mile time is record-setting in the world of CrossFit, but your mobility is lacking to where you can't do a proper squat, or you can do 50 pull-ups, but you cannot clean and jerk, or you are focusing on one thing and not able to do everything kind of good, relatively. I always feel shitty when I say stuff like this because I want everybody to just be the best that they can, right? I hope that's coming across. Anyway, we want to be capable at everything. And a crowbar, you can use it for a bunch of different things. Prying, opening, a weapon. It's a tool, it's handy, it's very useful. And we want to be useful people. We want to be capable people. We want to be healthy. So, rough draft of this was just me practicing, okay? But you'll get the idea. At the start of the challenge, everybody's going to get their initials. Where's my eye? Everybody's going to get their initials stamped into a copper tag. I got new stamps. These are too little. I got new ones. They'll be big. Everybody who's doing it is going to get their initials in one of these tags, and I'm keeping them till the end of the challenge. When you turn in your scorecard every week, you'll get a little punch, a little dot underneath your initials. That's for, it's kind of a living trophy, you can think of that. And then at the end of the challenge, below the dots, we're going to stamp your score. And this trophy will hang somewhere in the gym, okay? And I don't know, maybe every challenge we do, we'll do a new one. Maybe we'll add to this one till it's nothing but copper tags. But it's going to hang in the gym. And it's a good way to kind of see why you're here. Remember why you're here. I'm really proud of this. I think it's going to be freaking sweet. But I am my biggest fan, so, and I love hearing myself talk because I'm at 31 minutes. But that's it. I think that's it. This is all in an email. You'll see the scorecards. If you have any questions, ask a coach. If they don't know, they'll ask me. If it's something I overlooked, I'll talk to all the coaches and we'll figure it out. If you have a question on a nutrition plan, ask a coach or ask me. The big things, I want you to eat vegetables, I want you to eat whole foods. I would like you to track, but if you're doing Whole30, that's fine, you don't have to track. If the nutrition plan you're looking at requires you to buy a specific shake or a specific pill or something like that, I'm going to tell you no. I want you to eat whole food, real food. A lot of vegetables. Eat vegetables. It's a good thing to go out on. Eat vegetables and let's have some fun.